Hi, I'm Carrie, and this is Journey into Fear by Eric Ambler, one of the great spy thrillers of all time. It was published in 1940, so it was being written as the Second World War was started. It's set largely on board a tramp steamer going from Istanbul to Genoa in Italy. And its main character is Graham, a British engineer who's been sent out to Turkey to help the Turkish Navy make some modifications to its fleet as war is breaking out across Europe. Now, the Germans don't like Graham helping the Turks improve their navy because they don't know which side Turkey's going to come into the war on at this point. So they want to assassinate him. And so for the bulk of the novel takes place on this ship, and Graham knows there are a German assassin waiting to kill him, and he has to wriggle his way out of this dire situation. Now, that's the plot in kind of a nutshell. What's brilliant about this book is Ambler's take on spy thrillers. He wrote about 15 or 16 of them, starting before World War II and going all the way up into the 1970s, maybe the 80s, I'm not sure. He is one of the most politically astute thriller writers, spy thriller writers, although they are not spy novels in the same sense of the John le Carre novels, in which there's a lot of determining who's a double agent and so on and so forth. They lean a little more on the thriller side, the mystery side as well. But they are fantastic, as I said, because he brings a real political awareness to his novels. He has sharp understanding of how the great powers work, how cynical they are, how brutal they can be. Interestingly, in his novels he wrote before World War II, the heroes, or I should say the people who help the hero in each novel, the good guys, usually turn out to be socialists or communists. Now, after World War II, he was not as thrilled with what had happened with Russia, or what Stalin was doing, and he kind of turned away from that slightly, but not a lot. The other interesting thing Ambler does is he makes his heroes, the central character in each one, are just about always middle-class Englishmen who find themselves falling into spy conspiracies against their will. And usually they are apparently ill-equipped to deal with this new world. It's an interesting trope he develops because it allows, through his characters, allows us to explore this world and be made very aware of how duplicitous and cynical all its activities are. And that's certainly what happens in Journey into Night, as Graham soon finds out that everyone around him is false in some way. Even people he thinks are good might not be. People he thinks are bad might not be. He is an innocent abroad, which is certainly a very English character. He's very middle class. Thinks he just to muddle through this, he should just be more British and rely on that and making trips to the British consul and embassy and things like that. But of course, in this new world, in the nasty late 1930s, those rules don't apply anymore. And he's given a hard lesson in how the new world works. Ambler's plots are always airtight. There's a lot of moving parts in this novel, and they all fit together perfectly. If you're looking for holes, you won't really find one. And he develops all his characters beautifully in a very short space of time. Even minor characters are given a little bit of backstory, and each backstory is figured out perfectly to allow us to get an instant grasp on them. And even more interestingly, for this time period, Ambler does not indulge in jingoism. He doesn't indulge in caricatures either. Graham is the only Englishman in the cast of characters, and there are French, Germans, Turks, Greeks, Italians, and he never stoops to lampooning them, as so many British thriller writers did in this time period, both before and after the war. And he very smartly ladles in little bits of history which go to explain the turmoil and the clash of nationalities that's taking place in Europe at this time period. So the entire novel is kind of a capsule look in a very closed environment on board the ship of the hatreds and the pressures that that has brought Europe to World War II. It's a very clever device. I suppose really in putting his characters all aboard the ship, he's borrowing something from murder mysteries of the period, the golden age of detective fiction, where all your characters are socked away in a snowbound mansion in the English countryside, or on an island, or on a train, so on and so forth. At any rate, it's if you haven't read Eric Ambler, I can't recommend him enough. And all his novels are one of a kind. He never repeats characters, a vast range of settings, always intriguing, always exciting. And that's it for Ambler, and this is me, my book, The Skeleton Plums, a noir thriller. Thanks, see you next time.